So we are live, day 6 already. I mean, this week has flown by with the launch of and.coaching, our daily D-log 3-minute mindset setting tool that we've been talking about and sharing with you all week. So Debbie, we're talking about some really interesting things today, aren't we? Particularly um, listening like your life depends on it and being present.
We
Tell me
did
about
say,
your experience of this.
we did say we were doing a bit of a funny sketch about this one. But yes, so my ability to listen like my life depends on it can sometimes be skewed because I have this desire, particularly when I'm speaking to you, dear husband, is that I want to either interject, I want to add more, I want to say my bit, all of those things. But what it does, that actually stops you from being present because you're listening to this first and then you're not actually being present to the conversation. And we've all experienced it. How many times have we had a conversation with somebody and we've not actually heard what they've said, but we think we might have done, and then we'll go, well, what are you talking about? So I think being present as day 6 of the D-logs is a really key thing as well. And I think it's something we know we should be, but we don't.
I think it's super vital to take that moment to actually connect with somebody and to really think about what they're saying to you and listen to it fully. And I understand it's really normal. All of us do it, I think, sometimes, where you might see a solution in your head and you might think you know the answer, or you might want to ask a million questions and they're all firing off in your head. And it's learning, isn't it, in that moment to not necessarily do any of those things, be present, really focus on them or the other person and wait a little bit longer. Now, apologies, we are having an Instagram feed issue, it seems. So we won't be able to fix that live. We will add this video up straight afterwards. Go ahead,
Yes,
Debbie.
my suggestion, can I just make a quick suggestion, is I'm going to disconnect the live and upload. So if you are watching on a live, so I know we've got a couple of people, so a few people actually on the live. So if you could either go over to Facebook or LinkedIn, because it is working on there, and I'm going to close it down now. So you're just going to see this. So we do want to get you to interact with the D-log today because it is a really, really good one on day 6. So I'm going to close down the live on Instagram and then you can watch on the other channels, but I will upload it as soon as we've finished.
And while you're doing that, Debbie, a couple of things about the D-log stack this week. If you put them all together, the 3 minutes daily, we've talked about deleting the T. We've talked about having a moment of success in your day. Success isn't growth. Success is deciding what you're going to do that day and deciding that you, and then coming back to the fact that you did it. We also talk about gratitude, and today we want to share with you about being present. So let's listen to that D-log in a second and really think about how do you do with this in your life.
This D-log is all about being present. Your ability to be present in any situation in your life. Here's a skill I'd like to share with you that's going to help you do that. It's called listening like your life depends on it. This skill requires us to be fully present in the moment, to totally listen to the other person that you're talking to. It is about not finishing somebody's sentences. It's not presuming or guessing what they might be wanting to say. It's giving them your undivided, rapt attention and being totally in that moment, waiting till they're done. Here are 2 examples where you often see this not quite working as it could. You may be with somebody you know really well and you have a state of high rapport. You've known them your whole life, for example. And maybe you're sat there and you're talking, you're fully engaged, and the other person is speaking and you find yourself out of excitement wanting to say something and almost interrupt them. And the secret with listening like your life depends on it in this example is to not do that anymore, and is to give your full attention and let them finish their sentences and notice the benefits that brings. What about this other example? You're with a group of friends. Maybe you haven't seen each other for a while and you're all together. The energy again is high. Rapport is really, really strong. Everyone's excited. And have you ever been in a situation where someone is saying something and the other person overtalks them and then somebody else overtalks them. And then worse still, sometimes you never go back to the original people saying the things they wanted to say something and the moments get past. Ask yourself this question. In that situation, what would happen if you listened like your life depended on it? You gave the person the chance to say what it was they were wanting to say, and you became the person that was the most present in that moment, and you were fully listening, giving your best attention. As you go into this day, look for moments where you can listen like your life depends on it. You can stop finishing sentences for somebody. Stop interrupting them completely, and you can be totally in that moment and notice the benefits that are experienced, not just for you, but also for the other person also.
And just like that, you've added a powerful method to your toolkit with and.coaching. Each day you're learning new skills, and now it's time to witness the daily magic you're capable of creating. Remember, this is the daily choice. Make it count every single day, fueling your mind, fueling your life.
Excellent. So, Debbie, what do you think about this whole thing of someone starts a sentence and...
Oh, you're so funny. So I think being present is something that, definitely as a coach, is a learnt skill. And I think this allows us to really also continue to introduce why we're here, why we're doing these lives. And coaching is about method. So we talk about methods, we talk about skills and how you can apply, and tools and techniques. And then we talk about magic. And the magic is when you apply your learning or the conversation that you've heard that day on the 3-minute D-log, or you do your weekly accountability, you reflect back on the things and you start to notice, genuinely notice what differences is happening for you, but it happens for everybody else around you as well. Our coaching is built around focusing on the individual to benefit the many. And I think being present is that. As a coach, somebody's telling you something and they're really sharing with you, and they're talking about a situation, could be anything. And your desire, my desire, had been to always interject. Oh, yeah, I see, understand what you're talking about. You really want to be involved. That's the bit where you have to pull yourself back, be present, and actually listen to what the person's saying. And when we stop and realize that we don't listen very well, and again, I'm a coach, I do this for a living. When I'm professionally doing it, I'm really good, and I know that because my clients tell me. But personally, no. Personally, I'm always interjecting. So it's, I think, when we apply these things, and the idea of daily D-log is we apply it that day and we start to see those instant magic moments and go, oh, this actually works. So that's what it's all about.
And like anything, you have to set your intention. So, we live in a digital world where we're also used to, in the workplace now, working on video screens, right? So have reminders around your screen about listen, have a little prompt card, have it on your phone background for a while, bring it to your own attention. That's the first thing to get right. But reflecting back on what you said, Debbie, one of the things that we shared earlier in the week was method plus skills plus you equals magic. The whole D-log system is built on that. So let's go back over that just quickly. So the method is this daily D-log. Take 3 minutes to set your mindset. Yeah. Do your other things you already do. We'd love it if you stack that against an existing habit. Walking the dog, driving to the office, sitting in your desk, just the first thing that you do before you go, right, having your coffee, let's get going. The second part of method, of course, is then the skill it's going to give you in the D-log. And then that's a chance for you to stop and think about doing that day. To help you in the formula, we've got the and word. So you can either use and as a question, you can use it as to make sure there's nothing else to consider. And is there anything else? Or action now, do something different. And the magic today is about being present. The effect of you being present in your conversations and in your connections is going to be tenfold. So learning to know that magic comes when you practice the skill real time. Debbie.
And a super quick one to interject. Dave. A super quick one to interject as well is, I think listen like your life depends on it is not just the external, it's also the internal. What are you actually saying to yourself and being present with those thoughts? I think you and I, Dave, have both experienced this, is where people tell you to ignore it, pretend it's not happening, you've not thought about it. We're very opposite. We genuinely believe that you should experience those moments of good, bad, or indifferent thoughts, but you move through them. Because the minute you start to ignore them, what then happens is it actually has a kind of a building effect, and it actually creates bigger issues. We've got to experience what we're thinking. Listen like your life depends on it is internal thoughts and also those external conversations. Really important.
Now, a big shout out, Debbie, to Oak Homeopathy. By the way,
That's
that's a
Caroline.
there you go. It's a word I wasn't sure I was going to be able to say this morning on Saturday, but I did, because I have a challenge with those letters in that order. But yeah, a big good morning to Caroline. Thanks for shouting us out, and the love heart. Really appreciate that. The D-log is your moment. Now, I'd like to get serious only for a sentence. One of the things that we always talk about in our business and coaching, and formerly RLC Global, which is still around, we talk about your life is your life. And the question I'd like to leave you with this Saturday, as you're more present with more time to think and pause, hopefully, is, are you the main character in the movie of your life? Because if you're not on stage. And the D-logs are designed to help you to get back on stage, to have that moment, and to realize this internal journey in our heads is the summary of our whole life. What you do in here is what changes or adds value to your future. Tomorrow is built in your head first. Let's have a look. Yep, I can actually display it. There you go. Look at that. I've put Caroline's brand on the screen for her. Isn't that marvelous? So again, that quick summary, we're going to go a minute or two over. Whatever you're doing today, are you the main character in your own movie? This is not about ego. This is not about being arrogant or being front and center above everyone else. It's about, in your life, your only life, this one go at it, are you in your best sense, in your head, approaching it with your best moments, doing your best for you. That's why we want you to join free for 7 days, the D-logs, to be your 3 minutes set in your mind. Debbie, any last things you'd like to say today, not for the rest of your life, but just for this D-log?
Yeah, I just want us to really focus on being present, listen like your life depends on it, and use the D-log. So like Dave just said, is log in www.and.scott, 7 days free, so you experience it. Tomorrow, I did promise this yesterday, but tomorrow we are on day 7 going to go through the weekly accountability, so what that looks like as an experience and what's inside the portal. So that's our last, this is our penultimate, one of my favorite words, day today. So tomorrow is day 7, and we're going to share with you what's inside and coaching, what that looks like for you, and how you can best use it.
Thank you, Debbie. To everybody out there, have a great Saturday and every success with your day.
And just like that, you've added a powerful method to your toolkit with And Coaching. Each day you're learning new skills, and now it's time to witness the daily magic you're capable of creating. Remember, this is the daily choice. Make it count every single day. Fueling your mind, fueling your life.